It's time for another headphone challenge. Resolve GoldenSound, I brought you here today to help me pick out another system. Now, as you both know, I am a very avid coffee drinker. There is a coffee shop right next door to my office that I love. I go there all the time. All of us have 5 minutes to pick out the perfect system for going to your local coffee shop. You will have $1,000 US to design the perfect coffee shop system, something you would bring and listen to music at your local coffee shop, plugged up to your phone or your laptop. But you have to not look ridiculous. Let's just say there's points off for looking absolutely ridiculous. So you could go for some pretty wild stuff, but if you bring like an HE1 to a coffee shop and like, you know, a giant battery bank and all that, like a big, huge power supply, it's gonna be a little silly.
Define ridiculous, though. Like, there's a sense in which my definition of ridiculous would be different from yours.
Let's let the people in the comments be the judge.
Are we doing used, or are we doing brand new?
Brand new. This is all brand new stuff.
Brand new.
Oh, all brand new.
All brand new. Okay.
1,000 US. All right, everybody mute your microphones, and I will start the timer now. 3, 2, 1, go! I am going to go all headphones, and let's sort by closed back. We have a lot of stuff. I have a feeling those guys are going to go for something IEM related, but I want to do over-ear headphones. My go-to in this situation would be an E3, but that does not fit in the budget. There is the FIO FT1. I'm gonna open that in another tab. That's a pretty good one. I like the Focal Radiance that uses almost all of the budget. I like the Noir X. I could technically use that off of just a laptop's headphone jack, but I feel like that's such an easy choice. It does look a little bit silly though, right? Like, kind of would have these big things on top of your head.
So the first thing I'm going to try and find here is a Quest style dongle M15, because that's just a great little thing to plug any headphone in. Ooh, that's expensive. I didn't realize that was that expensive. Okay, maybe not that. I like it a lot, but I probably won't need headphones that are that power hungry. So I'm going to go with a Q2Lix 5K. So the benefit there is that it has EQ functionality built in, and it also has a whole bunch of EQ profiles there available as well. So Q2Lix 5K is going to be what I'm running from the phone, and now I got to come up with some sort of headphone. And under $1,000, there's a lot of options. I'm going to do...
Okay, so for mine... I'm going to spend almost all my money on the IEM, and it's going to be an IEM because we're wanting to not look ridiculous, and quite frankly, there are not many audiophile headphones that don't look ridiculous, even the closed-back ones. Maybe some of the Dan Clark ones, those look a little bit more subtle, but even then, generally speaking, a lot of the audiophile stuff looks silly. How much is the Subtonic... Symphonium Helios, because that, and there's a method to the madness here, is one of my favorite IEMs for listening to bassier music because it's a bassy boy. And that's exactly the kind of thing that I want to listen to when I'm on a walk outside going to the coffee shop.
I like the Noir X a lot. That would probably be my go-to for sound quality at this price point, but I don't think it would deliver the isolation I need, and I would want something a little more low profile. I could go with an ANC option. There's a lot of ANC stuff out there, but I really don't like the frequency response of a lot of the ANC stuff. I like how low profile the headbands on these Denons are, but they're not going to isolate super well, and I don't think the frequency response of those would be to my taste. The Mark Levinson is not bad. Still needs some EQ. I want to go wired though. Maxwell's really good, but it's heavy. I like the Batiste, but I use that more on airplanes. I think I'm going to go with the HD620S because that isolates really well. It's low profile. I just need something to fix the lower mid-range a little bit on it and make it sound less boxy.
To not look ridiculous is hard, because if you're going to a coffee shop, you want it to cancel noise. So in a sense, I could just say Bose QC Ultra, and then I wouldn't need the Q2Lix 5K. But if I'm going to go with a passive headphone, I would want to go, honestly, with something like a FIO FT1 and just save the rest of the money. So if I go for a FIO FT1, that's $150, though I know they're not shipping to North America right now, so that's probably not doable. If we're saying the FIO FT1 is out, I'm going to go with a Focal Azuris. And I don't personally need the Capra strap for the Focal Azuris, so this puts me at $600 plus the Q2Lix 5K, that's $710. For people with small heads, the Capra strap, it would be worth doing. So Capra strap, I think that's another like 20, 30 bucks, something like that. So that puts me at around $740, which is decent with room to spare. I saved some money.
Right. X demo. Okay. Does X demo count? It's technically brand new. It's not used. We're not looking on eBay. I'm going to argue that counts, but I think $830 USD to GBP. If we're looking this week, it's down a little bit. So that'll help us out here. £839. Does that fit in? Oh, not quite. Okay, what about the Meteor? Because the Meteor is definitely cheaper, and that's very similar. $600. That's not bad. Because again, I like listening to bassier music, kind of more four on the floor type stuff when I'm walking or whatever. So that's going to be my IEM, hands down. I love the Meteor. Meteor's really good fun. So that's 600. Now we've got another 400 for the actual source itself. And I'm actually going to go for a FIO KA70. This is pretty similar to what I had last time. Why are we using Bing again? In fact, no. QLX 5K. Because then we can go Bluetooth and we can do EQ on the device if we want to. And that leaves us some nice room as well. So that's $109. So now we're at $709. Well, let's add another $20 or so for coffee and a sandwich or whatever. So we've got a little bit more money, but I don't really think we need to go much higher than that. This will run them. It'll do EQ. It sounds good. It gives us Bluetooth with LDAC as well and aptX HD. So we're not even sacrificing much by using Bluetooth. How about a nice cable? Let's throw that in since we've got something left in the budget.
But $349, that gives me a lot of wiggle room to try and get like a good amp or something. There is always the FIO FT1. I'll keep that as a backup in case I can't find a good amp, but the FT1 does not isolate nearly as well as the 620S. The 620S, you can sit in a really busy space and it's just like, it's like drumming headphones almost. How much time do I have left? Oh crap, I only have half my time left. Ooh, Mojo 2? Mojo 2? Wait, does this fit? This fits in my budget by 5 cents. That would leave me at 5 cents away from $1,000. The Mojo 2 has what I need. It would power this easily. It has built-in EQ, so I could change the frequency response just a little bit and fix that kind of boxiness this HD620S has. This might be the move. And I could just plug that right into my laptop. The only downside is that you can't charge the Mojo 2 over the same cord that you're using to send data, but the battery does last a long time on it, longer than I'm going to be sitting in a coffee shop. And it is really compact. It doesn't look ridiculous. I think I've got the answer. I think it's going to be Mojo 2 and 620S. That'd be a great coffee shop setup. I know I could do an IEM here, but I want to do a headphone. I want to do an over-ear headphone. I've got 56 seconds left. I was crunching last time. I was super worried I wasn't going to make it. This time, easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. Look at all these lemons. Squeezing them easy. 40 seconds left. Either they are struggling right now for a time crunch, or they got it figured out instantly. I bet that Resolve probably instantly picked like a really affordable IEM, like immediately, and was just like, this is all I need. I bet he's doing like a QLX 5K and an IEM.
I think the other option here might be maybe like an Aeon Noir, maybe. That's $900, but then I couldn't get the QLX 5K. So that's probably why that is out for me. Yeah, I think that's going to be it. I think it's going to be Focal Azuris with a QLX 5K. Or if we go the IEM route, I will go for a Theaudio Hype 4. Not because it's better than anything else that's under $1,000, but because this design happens to not have length mode issues, making it, or at least for me, making it very easy to EQ. And it's something that I'd be able to use very well with the QLX 5K.
Maybe even a matte black IEM cable. Matte black. Is it a 2-pin? Yes. 2-pin IEM cable. Look for something a little nicer than that. I mean, we can just go for something on AliExpress, but let's just do Thomann because Thommann's pretty reliable. So that's £42, which is $55 US. So we're at what, $750? We've got $250 to spare. I mean, at that point, screw it. You can put the $250 or half of it towards a 1-year Rune subscription, and I'd run Rune Arc on my phone because then I can access all of my library from home and stream and just do everything that I want, so that way I can transfer all my playlists as well. So actually, I'll throw in a 1-year Rune Arc subscription as well. And then I think for a coffee run setup, that's pretty ideal.
But before the big reveal of our systems, I'm going to tell you about Headphones.com. Griffin, I've been told that you are not only a great music connoisseur, but also someone who's very good at helping people determine what to get with their headphone systems.
Say I have experience with it. I've been doing it for a very long time.
Perfect. That's why we have decided recently to sell Griffin. Now on Headphones.com, he's available for purchase, so you can help pick out the perfect stuff. He'll pick out music for you. He's a great little guy. He can dance, he can sing, he can do all that stuff. You can get Griffin over on Headphones.com. Isn't that right, Griffin?
This is what I get for not reading the totality of my contract, isn't it?
It's exactly what Taryn said. If you need to return them, there's 365-day returns, so we'll take them right back. And great customer support, so we can tell you what to feed them and all that stuff. Okay, thanks, Griffin. Bye.
Time is up, gentlemen. Unmute thyselves. Was this easy for you guys? You just like instantly just like, oh, it's gonna be this.
Yeah, this was actually really easy.
Yeah, I knew what I was going for pretty quick. My first choice was not quite in budget, but I'm pretty happy with what I ended up with.
Well, obviously you would choose the HiFi Audivina.
What the fuck is this?
Yeah, oh, obviously. I mean, in terms of not looking ridiculous and not sounding ridiculous, that's about where it goes.
Clearly. I predicted that one of you would choose a Q-Deluxe 5K.
Maybe.
So here's the thing. if I were to be obnoxious, I would just say get like a Aria Stealth, specifically to offend everybody around you because of just how much sound leaks out of that one.
Yeah.
Ultimate bus setup.
But I didn't do that.
Well, here, you go first. Links in the chat. What do you got?
The first thing I went to was actually to try and find the Questel M15, but I didn't realize how expensive it is. That's like $250, which I felt was overkill, and I didn't really need to do that. So for the headphones that I was planning on going with. So I ended up getting the Q-Deluxe 5K.
Shocking.
As you predicted.
Color me surprised.
Yeah, but I mean, it makes sense, right? Like you can basically, like you get that, then you get all the EQ functionality. You can dial in your headphones exactly how you want them. What's not to love? So that puts me at $110. Then I was thinking, okay, because it's for the coffee shop and the requirement is to not look ridiculous, if I'm going with over-ear headphones of some kind, it makes sense to go with a passive over-ear headphone. And actually, at first I thought, well, I would just get a QC Ultra, right? Because, you want to cancel noise, and that's a major benefit to being in that environment. But we're here to be a little bit more, audiophile and a little bit snobbier. So
yes. Instead,
I went with a passive close-back headphone, the Focal Azuris.
Ooh.
Paired with the Q-Deluxe 5K, that puts me, that's around $600. So that puts me at $710. And I thought for anybody with a smaller head, you could add the Capra strap on top, which would put you at like $730 with room to spare.
That's good.
And so that's basically the over-ear setup. But then I also thought if I was going to go with an IEM, I would be able to save even more money because I'd go with a Q-Deluxe 5K and a The-Audio Hype 4 because that one doesn't have any length mode issues for me. It's very comfortable. It's more comfortable than the MegaFest for me. And I would have a very easy time EQing that headphone or that IEM.
I bet he's doing like a Q-Deluxe 5K and an IEM.
And that's my setup.
That's a pretty good setup.
So, I mean, I was a little tempted to just say, well, I'll just get a Batiste, but I thought that was going to be a bit boring. So, I went with a Q-Deluxe 5K, which...
shocking.
Absolutely shocking. But, actually, I might retrospectively change that to a FIO KA17, given as I actually had quite a bit of money left in the budget. The IAM I went for was the Symphonium Meteor, and there's a reason for this, which is that if I'm walking somewhere just out and about, I want isolation, and if we're not wanting to look ridiculous, I didn't want basically any audiophile headphone, because quite frankly, almost none of them look anything other than ridiculous. And when I'm walking, I almost exclusively listen to like 4 on the floor type music, something kind of heavier and rhythmic, and so I wanted something bassier, and so that fit the bill quite nicely. Q-Deluxe 5K also means that then you can EQ it.
I have one criticism of your pick here with the Meteor. Sealed BA, meaning you're going to end up with the occlusion effect quite strongly, which may be okay. I think it would be fine for the coffee shop situation, but it might be a bit annoying when you are walking because you're going to end up hearing whatever gets transmitted through your body more with this kind of design.
That's fair.
Most likely.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that, but that's a fair point. I will note that the stock cable that comes with this is a copper cable, and so I also thought that given as the aim of this is to not look ridiculous, I did budget in a just black 2-pin cable as well, which is about $50. So that I think should earn bonus points in terms of not looking silly.
Oh yeah.
Then I also budgeted for a year of Rune, so that I can then use Rune Arc on my phone, get all my music from home. And all of my playlists and things like that, both local and streaming. So that I threw in. But if you take out the Q-Deluxe, this leaves us about $400 or so. And I think you can just about get a FIO KA17. I should also note that when I was first Googling stuff, I couldn't find prices for anything. I was like, why are all these results just horrible? And then I realized I was using Bing, so I had to fix that pretty quick.
The Year of Rune, that was a good idea.
Yeah, well, I mean, I use Rune, but also just then having all of my library, all of my playlists, and also Rune Arc does let you do EQ with a really nice interface, so then you don't need the Qlux 5K, which is why then I said, okay, actually, you can probably swap to a FIO KA17, because that's got quite a lot of power, so that if you wanted to then just use that to go home and listen to your playnars or whatever, it'll work great for that as well.
That's a good idea. I didn't even think about that. You think things through. That was good.
I try my best.
All right, Douglas?
I went with maybe a little bit of a spicy one, but I promise I have a good reason. At first, I was like, well, I love the E3, but that's twice the budget. Then I was like, well, I love the Noir X, but it doesn't isolate quite the level I would want for public, and it is kind of like...
You're going to get some
wild
odd looks
looking.
with any of the DCA ones. Like, even though they don't look anywhere near as ridiculous as most other stuff, they're a lot more subtle. They're still very head-turny.
And then I thought, well, I love the FT1, but the FT1 doesn't isolate quite as much as I would want, and I want a little more comfort, like something that's going to be tighter on my head. So I thought, what isolates really well and is going to be really just like sealed onto my head well, that I could then fix with a little bit of EQing, and I landed on this, the 620S.
Oh, that is a good, wow. That is a good choice
Yeah.
for the coffee shop or anywhere where you don't want to look ridiculous or stand out or whatever.
I thought you were either going to yell at me or like it, so I'm glad that it was the liking it option.
No, in terms of this use case, that's pretty ideal, actually.
You know what? Like, okay, it's funny. My first pick was actually the FIO. I went through exactly that same thought process that you went through with the FIO FT1, but also I was thinking you can't really get it in North America right now. So for some reason, my brain just forgot that this headphone existed. Like the 620S is a great choice for exactly this.
So 620S, it's got like the isolation of a drummer headphone. It's really comfortable for my head shape, but it has that little bit of boxiness in the low mid. So I was like, I need something that can add a little bit of EQ to it. And I didn't think of the Qlux 5K for me personally. Instead, I went with the Mojo 2, which is overkill in a lot of ways for the 620S. And here's the best part. This ended up being perfect. I was looking through the site just now and I was like, is this actually going to fit? Because I was looking for an amp and I was like, there's no way. It fits in the budget by 5 cents.
Well, okay.
Only downside that I could think of is you can't charge the Mojo 2 through the same Type-C cable that you're running it off data, but like the battery,
yeah.
Mojo 2 is going to take barely any juice to drive a 620S, and the battery already lasts really long on that thing, way longer than I'll ever be in a coffee shop.
Right. I had not even considered these. These are great picks. Like mine was a bit obvious. I'm liking your suggestion here. Should we ask Griffin who wins this?
What do you think, Griff?
At least for the not looking ridiculous portion of it.
I love the little Griff is typing. Oh, first he needs to give
Whoa.
his list.
Oh,
my God.
okay.
What did he? Oh my
Okay.
gosh! Whoa, he's got so many things.
Razor Kraken.
Yeah.
No, Razor Kraken Kitty Quartz Edition. What
Audio
the hell?
Quest 3.5mm cable.
Let's see what he had to say here. Rationale: have to have lights on the headphone. Have to have kitty ears. Of course, you don't want to look ridiculous. Need to spend at least 3 times more on the headphone amp, and have an audiophile aux cable.
Can you just like add an isoacoustics isolator, have that in the palm of your hand, and just walk around with the like DAC on that the whole way down?
It's not in the budget.
Well, clearly Griffin decimated all of us.
I mean, no, I just disagree. Troll post or not.
Oh,
This is horrific.
look what he said. Oh,
Okay. Yeah,
This whole
DMS
thing
is
was
the
rigged.
winner.
I demand a recount.
Yeah, no, actually, like getting a sense of your choices there, DMS, like that's such a creative way to look at it. I had not specifically for that purpose. Like, I actually think I prefer my choices for sound quality,
Yeah.
but your choices for inconspicuousness are just superior.
I didn't prep for this one, but I do go to a coffee shop every day.
You really need to get a machine at home, man.
Do you use the 620S there?
I would get a machine at home, but the coffee there is so good. If I want to have a machine at home, it's going to cost more than most people's hi-fi setups.
Yeah, it's worth it. I mean, it's a rabbit hole in and of itself, but you actually do end up saving money over the long run if you are getting coffees every day.
Yeah, that's a problem for future me. So those are our systems. We had our things to say about them here, but the real defining factor is going to be who you guys pick as the winner in the comment down below. So let us know whose system you thought was the best, and we'll do another one of these challenges in the future. If you have ideas for a future challenge, also leave them in the comments, because this is going to become a series. I think these are pretty fun. Other than that, I think it's time to wrap this video up. So guys, if you liked this video, leave a like down below, comment, let me know what you want to see in the future. If you want to get active in the community, you can at the Discord or the forum, both available at the link in the video description. As always, don't forget to stick around, subscribe for more videos like this in the future. Till next one, guys. Peace.